Hey, Tomahawk family, how's it going? We're looking at Joshua chapter 6, verses 1 to 5 today for our devotional thought. And in Joshua chapter 6, Joshua had just become the leader of the Israelites as they continue their conquest towards the promised land that God had promised for them in the Old Testament. Moses had just died, and Moses had just handed over the reins to Joshua so he could be the leader of the Israelites during this time. And there was a city named Jericho that served as a barrier between the Israelites and the promised land. And God had an interesting way of delivering Jericho into the hands of the Israelites, as we see in Joshua chapter 6, verses 1 to 5. This is what Joshua chapter 6, verses 1 to 5 says. Now Jericho was tightly shut up because of the Israelites. No one went out and no one came in. Then the Lord said to Joshua, See, I have delivered Jericho into your hands, along with its king and its fighting men. March around the city once with all the armed men. Do this for 6 days. Have 7 priests carry trumpets of ram's horns in front of the ark. On the 7th day, march around the city 7 times with the priests blowing the trumpets. When you hear them sound a long blast on the trumpets, have all the people give a loud shout. Then the wall of the city will collapse and the people will go up, every man straight in. So God had promised to deliver the Israelites from Jericho. But there were some things that didn't make a lot of sense that the Israelites had to do in order to get to that deliverance. The Israelites had to march around the city once a day for 6 days, and then they had to march around the city 7 times on the 7th day, and then scream on the 7th time around the city so that the walls would cave in. There's a lot of things that don't make a lot of sense in our lives as we wait for our deliverance from this life into the next life with Christ. We are promised to be delivered from this life into the next life if we stay true to Christ. But there's a lot of things that we have to do that don't make a lot of sense until we get to our deliverance. But we have to remember, God has His hand in those things that don't make a lot of sense right now. God is growing us through those things that don't make a lot of sense right now. And God has a purpose for us going through those things that don't make a lot of sense right now so we can get to our deliverance. Sometimes our marching around the city for a number of times is having to give up something that's comfortable to us, or having to lose some friends that are a bad influence on us. Or sometimes we have to move somewhere that we don't want to move so we can be more effective for God. And those are some of the things sometimes that don't make a lot of sense that we have to do to get to our deliverance. Because there's a lot of things that we need to do in order to grow, in order to stay true to God sometimes that don't make a lot of sense so we can get to our deliverance. You're going to be delivered from this life to the next because of the beauty of the gospel. And there's some things that you have to do in this life that don't make a lot of sense, that can take you out of your comfort zone in order to get to that deliverance. Because there's a lot of things we got to do in order to stay true to God and in order to stay true to what He's doing. We will be delivered. And there's some things we got to do that don't make a lot of sense in order to get to that deliverance. Stay true to God and stay true to His promises. Have a good day.